All right, looks like we're live. Hi, everybody. I always check on our Facebook page to make sure we're live. And look, Christina, we are live. So there we
Oh,
go.
there we are.
We are live. So welcome, everybody. Um, Mercury has got our retrograde again tonight, all over us. We didn't know what the heck was happening. We were just using Zoom before, and now, well, we got it working. So welcome, everybody, to Scotty Talks About. This week, I'm very, very excited to have a very dear friend with me. Christina's with me tonight. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Scotty. How are you?
I am phenomenal. How are you?
Excellent.
Good, good.
Excellent. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you. It's going to be a fun night where we just
Yeah.
talk about anything we want to talk about.
Awesome. I love not having a script.
Yeah, no script, no topics, no questions, just us jabbering like we normally do when we hang out. So that's great.
That could be dangerous.
It will be, and I expect it. I
Awesome.
think that's why everybody's tuning in tonight to see us all see where we go.
Yeah, I know I invited a lot of people.
That's awesome. Well, Christina, why don't we start out with you giving everybody brief or long or extra long or whatever you want to do explanation about you.
Oh, boy. Well, that's a long story.
I know.
Okay.
So it started a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far
Far,
away.
far away. Yeah. Many, many, many lifetimes ago. Um, Well, for those of you who don't know me, I am a psychic and a medium. I am also a hypnotist and a teacher. And it's a very, very long list of the things that I do. I'm an author. I've been doing this for 20 years, public, publicly and professionally. I've been psychic my whole life, but I've been doing this professionally for 20 years. And that's how I met Scotty, actually. I think it was at a fair, wasn't it?
It was. It was. That's how we
Yeah.
met. Yep.
Yeah, we met at a fair. So, with COVID, I have taken my business 100% online. So I'm doing all my classes, all my seances, all my channelings, all my readings. Everything is online. Well, readings over the phone too, but mostly online.
That's cool. Well, I haven't yet. I've been still doing shows. I have a show this weekend in Janesville. We have a show coming up with Body Labs this weekend, and it's still a go. The hotel is still fine, and we're all set to go. And I have I have one of those shield things that you put up in front of your table, so
Yeah,
we can sit on either side and not have to worry about each other and be 6 feet apart, and we're all good. So that's still
nice.
going on this weekend, and I'm also doing investigations this weekend, starting this weekend at the Riverside Theater in Milwaukee. So
You know,
we're doing
why
some
don't you
ghost
ever call me when you do these things?
hunting.
I love doing investigations.
I got it. Well, then I'll invite you for crepe's sake. This from now on, this is gonna be fun. But yeah, that it was really cool to be asked to join Bruce City Paranormal and the Riverside Theater Group to join them and help give ghost hunts that night. And it's going to be great because the groups are going to be small. I think there's only like 5 or 6 people per group, and of course, we all have to wear masks and all that stuff.
Of
Um,
course.
but we're in the theater, and the spirits are all out and ready, and they're all setting up tonight, getting ready for it. So I just want to say hi, everybody in the room. Hi, Brenda. Keith Johnson's in there. Robin Porter's in there. Devin and Jason. Hi, everybody. Jason Burke's in there. So got a lot of people saying
Cool.
hi to us already. So very nice to
Yeah,
see everybody, and thanks for coming tonight.
I
Um,
recognize some of those names.
yeah, Chris, not only do we do events together, Christina and I, we both we did a show together once.
A few times, actually.
I know it was great.
Yeah,
We did the
yeah.
mediums together, so that was a lot of fun.
That was fun being on stage together. We need to do that again.
I know. I think we need to. I've been doing shows with Andrea down here in Milwaukee. We call them Spirit Connections. So we'll have to figure out how to do a show here during all this stuff, and probably
Yeah.
probably Marchish next year. Let's do something.
Yeah, let's plan on that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we did. So everybody knows we did a show back then with Jennifer Lloyd called The Mediums, and what we would do is we'd have anywhere up to 6 people, 6 mediums on stage at once. I think the ones we did all had about 6, right?
Yeah, I think we have 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's cool about it is the mediums all do a reading for the same group at the same time. So that's kind of fun. So
Organized chaos.
it is. But I remember the one guy we did, and every one of us went to him. It was just like bum 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 bum.
Poor man was inundated.
Yeah, he's like, this is too crazy for this. Oh, so Keith wants to know when. So when was your first psychic experience, Kristina?
Oh yeah, because he already knows the answer to that. Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting part of my story. The first time it was documented, I was a toddler. So I was probably 2 or 3 years old. And I had a dream about a lady who was in a hospital bed in the same room that at that time in my life was my grandparents' home office. They had an electrician business that they ran from home. And in my dream, I walked into the office and I climbed up onto my grandmother's fold down step stool.
Okay.
And I kissed the lady on the cheek and I pulled a sheet over her head and then I woke up crying. And the next day, I was pretty verbal even at that age, so my mom understood
You?
what I was saying.
No.
No, I know, right? No way. Um, she called. She went to call her mom, but her mom was calling her to tell her that some uncle in Sweden had passed away, and it wasn't anyone I knew. But through time and looking at pictures, um, we found out that the woman that I kept seeing, because I had that dream 5 or 6 more times
Wow.
during my childhood, and every single time a member of the family I didn't know passed away. So that's how it got documented at such a young age. But it turns out it's the great grandmother that I'm named after.
I
Who
was
was in
going to
the,
say great grandma, but
yep, yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can tell
And I'm named after her. So that's who I kept seeing in those dreams. And then in those dreams, I would have different dreams also where I would see um, a man I didn't know with his arm in a sling standing on my great aunt's front porch. And every time I had that dream, somebody in the family got injured.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know it was
So don't
weird.
dream about me for crepe's sake.
Well, that quit when I got into about middle school. I stopped having dreams and started having waking visions. So,
Yeah, and it was kind of funny, just to go down my road then. I started seeing spirit probably about 5. And we lived in a ranch house out in Franksville, Wisconsin, just outside of Racine. And my room was all the way in the back. And so at night, if I left my door open, spirits would come down the hallway and sit on my bed and talk to me at night. And so I would talk to the people, and I get up in the morning and I would tell neighbors and stuff that their grandpa was with me. And they go, how can he be with you when he's dead? I said, well, he was in my room last night, and so that started all the teasing. And,
yeah,
we're about the same age. So the 60s wasn't a great time for us to be seeing ghosts.
right.
And then my mom and dad I would talk to them about it, and they would not understand what I was saying. But when I see spirit, I see them as they're more opaque than humans are. So they're like whiter. And so when I see a spirit like that, I ended up when I was young calling them bakers.
Bakers.
Yeah, because bakers were all white.
Oh, okay.
So back then, so I would call them the bakers. I said the bakers came down the room last night again, and I would talk to the bakers. Not the
Wow.
fact that I love food, as you can tell, but
No, no, not at all.
but the bakers were the name, and that actually made it worse. I thought it would make it funny, but it made it worse. So that's how I got to know the bakers, and it's been really weird. And then there was a movie later in life that somebody was talking about. In there, they talked about. You remember when you were a kid and you saw the bakers? I was like, "Did you steal my stuff?"
Somebody did. Somebody tuned into the cosmos and stole your.
Somebody had to figure that out because I said, "Who else in the world would talk about bakers?"
Yep,
It's
they
so funny.
downloaded.
It's so funny. I'd go back to all the kids that I used to have in the neighborhood or in school together, and they always want to talk about ghosts now.
Yeah,
Now I'm like the big shot of the high school reunions. Everybody comes up and goes, "Let's talk about ghosts." Okay, let's not.
I have a lot of that too.
Do you? I bet.
Yeah, I've done all kinds of readings for people I went to high school with, and even done like gallery readings in their homes, and done psychic parties and all kinds of stuff for people that I went to high school with.
Yeah. So let's see. So Lisa Rogers says hi. Lynn says hi.
Yay, my people. Thanks for
said,
joining, guys.
She said, so Lynn asked, do you still dream about events and do the dream that something good happens? So she wants to know if you also get good dreams.
Yeah, I don't dream much anymore. I have dreamt of good things happening that happened. But I don't know, mostly since I've been an adult, I just don't dream very much anymore. Most of what I get while I'm awake, but I kind of feel like I'm going to school in my sleep. You know what I mean? Like lots of downloads, lots of teachings, lots of that kind of stuff come in my sleep.
You know, and I tend to, by the way, hi, Jackie, welcome. Jackie Musberg hits in the room. But most of the time when I dream, it's me going to help other people. I do night classes. I show up in your rooms. I show up in your dreams.
You're a dream walker.
I am. I spend a lot of time helping people at night. So
cool.
But you know, they want to know it. They want to feel what that connection is. And I said, okay, I'll come in. I leave my body and let my body rest, and then I get up and do stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I do the same thing sometimes.
Also, Marcy Scott from Eau Claire says hi.
Hi, Marcy. Yeah, I don't have the rolling list that you do.
Yeah, I know it's on the Facebook Messenger thing or whatever it is. So
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Devin now says yes, I do. Devin's one of my students, and I tend to show up. But what's really funny is my spirit guide shows up. Steve will always go to everybody. You know, I don't know how my students, but Steve, my spirit guide, does. He'll go up to people and say, "Hey, you haven't talked to Scotty in a while."
That's funny.
So,
I don't know what my spirit guides are doing. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to talk about your spirit guides. It's good that you went there.
Yeah, I have quite a group of spirit guides, and you know, I mean, I have my two basic ones that came in with me, and then I have the others, like everyone else, that come and go depending on what's going on in my life and what I need at the time. And you know, so I'm publishing another book soon, so I just finished writing that book, and you know, it's like when I'm doing that, the spirit guides that show up are the ones that like, get it done. Come on, get it done. I've got the taskmasters, and then I've got the ones who guide me to certain editors or certain you know, people. So what am I thinking? Artists, designers, those kinds of people who can help me with that sort of thing. And so, you know, they guide me to all the right places and all the right people. And yeah, so it's been really exciting. And they recently guided me to someone who I am opening a publishing company with.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so we've got that in the works right now. I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks.
Yeah, I just started writing a book with a woman that lost her son, and that we helped find. It was a missing persons for a while. We helped find him, and now we are having conversations with Sean. We call it right now. The title will change, but that's our working title for it. And nice. It's been really cool because since we helped, and I had a bunch of people that I know, a bunch of mediums help try to find him, and we were actually right on where he was. You know, we were able to find his body, especially after the lake or the river thawed, you know, because it went in the winter time. But we had that connection then, and him and I met then, and he's been really cool talking with me, and he accepts talking with me. And now I do a lot of channeling and let him channel, him and his mom talk, and then I come back. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of a neat thing. So it's gonna be kind of a neat book.
Awesome! I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of fun. So
yeah,
just starting it, and but it's gonna be neat. I think it's gonna be neat. So
Yeah. Keith Johnson, who popped up and asked that question earlier, he and I are writing a book together. We don't have a working title yet, but it's something about psychopumps
Okay.
because he is a psychopump. So,
Right.
yeah, so we're going to be working on we are actually, it's already started working on that one together. So,
Would you explain to the people that don't know what we're talking about?
absolutely. A psychopomp is someone who helps spirits who are stuck here on earth after they've left their bodies to move on to the light. Basically, that's the short version.
That is the short version, but that's a good version, though. I mean, that's really what it is. You know, they're here to help move that spirit on if they
Yeah,
want to.
if they want to. Yeah, we don't force anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think we all have free will. So Lynn asked, now that you don't dream anymore, do you ever get feelings or have flashes as it is person specific or just random that something will happen?
Both. Both actually. Sometimes I will get it specifically about someone. Other times I will, just kind of a general something's coming. You know what I mean? Like I'm not explaining this very well, but um, for instance, somebody I went to college with, haven't seen in, I don't know, probably 30 years, 3 dreams right in a row of this guy.
Wow.
And they were all very different dreams, and none of them were bad dreams. But I'm like, well, I don't understand why this is happening. So I messaged him. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You keep popping up in my dreams, And so sometimes I'll have a connection like that with someone I haven't seen in decades. And sometimes it'll be just like before my grandson was born, I had a dream about what he would look like when he was born, and he looks exactly like that. You know, I had the same thing with my older son, actually. Like every 3 years, I would have a dream about what he would look like in 3 years, up until he turned 18, and it was dead on every single time. Why? I have no idea. Just random information.
Wow, that's totally weird.
Yeah.
So we have Lisa asked, she says she thinks you have a channeling event coming up.
I do on Friday night. It's on Zoom. Um, I've been trying to post it all over Facebook. You can find it on my meetup page. So it's meetup.com/one spirit connection. I'm doing an online channeling on Zoom. And then on the 30th, I'm doing an online seance on Zoom.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I'm actually doing seances at the Riverside Ballroom.
cool.
Yeah, before the ghost hunt or part of my ghost hunt. So that's gonna be kind of fun.
Yeah. I like doing seances. Those are fun.
So Aaron says we live a cool life.
We do. Both of us.
I know it's fun. It's amazing. I was just
Yeah.
saying that tonight. It's so neat that we get to spend, 30 minutes or an hour with a client and then get to meet their family and get to, see how the dynamics were and the understandings and
Yeah.
see how each of the kids look and what parts they've gotten from each other. And, it's kind of really, it's so fun. It's so interesting for me. It's like being a family archaeologist or somebody that's great on the family tree webpage or whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah. I have to tell you, one of the coolest things I ever did was years ago for a friend of mine and her family. Her dad had passed away and he wanted to have a family reunion for Christmas. So we did a conference call and I channeled him for the family on the conference call. And it was just really a lot of fun. I mean, he had, I think, 7 or 8 adult children spread around the world. And they all called into this number and talked to their dad having this Christmas party. It was, I think that's one of the coolest things I've ever done. Brought the whole family together. And, they even had like a family song and it was one of those families that was really into music and entertainment, and they all played instruments and sang, and it was a really, really fun family reunion that I got to be a part of.
I bet. I mean, that's what's so incredible about this is getting
Yeah.
to spend that time with people's families. And I
Hmm.
love that. I love that dearly, and give them the perspective that they need.
Yep. Yeah.
So I always like to compare our our styles, you know, and I've seen you, but I don't think everybody's seen both of us, you know, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
So how do you read? I mean, if you can sum it up.
Okay, so how I read, whether it's individual or in a group, it's the same process.
Hmm.
I open up my heart center and I send out a stream of energy that I can see visually to the person that I'm reading, and I connect into their heart center. And what I find is that it really um, it shortens the amount of time it takes to get the information that they're looking for, whether that's connecting with family members or loved ones on the other side, whether it's connecting with their spirit guides, whether it's getting information about their business, whatever it is, it just expedites the process. It streamlines it. And I have to say, I learned that doing fairs, because what the other thing that it does is, if I'm at a fair and I'm reading for you and I connect right into your energy, all of the extraneous noise just kind of dims down and I don't really hear it. You know what I mean? It's like that's my process where I can just zoom right in on someone and and keep that connection. Excuse me, until the reading's over, and then I pull my energy back from that person.
Right. I mean, that's why even people say, how can you read in a noisy room? I said, like this.
Exactly, pretty much.
Really, that's all that is. It's just us getting back into our space, because I don't even see other people at my table during the time. You know, I don't
Right.
even know they came up or signed up or anything like that. You
Yeah.
know,
I know when we were doing the mediums, and I don't know if it was you or Jennifer said, as soon as you get out there, start looking for the spirits in the crowd. And I'm like, that's just way too confusing. I just can't do it that way, because you could have a spirit standing there, could be any one of 5 people that they're there to see. So yeah, even in a gallery reading like that, I will open up and just watch where the stream of energy goes, and whoever it goes to, that's my next reading.
yep, I
It's just
was, you know, it's that same way. Jennifer did that. Jennifer always likes to go on and see what the next one was. But for me, when I look out in the audience, like when I do a private reading, most of the time spirits come to me early. You know,
right.
if there's a reading at 5:30, at about 5 o'clock, they start showing up and start,
Yep.
you know, I hope I don't have 2 readings at the time, because sometimes I get them mixed up and I go, wow, that you wait for the next reading. You know,
The waiting room is over there.
exactly. Just like Zoom. Get over there, and as soon as I hit a mitt, then you can come in. But until
Uh,
then, stay over there. But the other funny thing is when I do a gallery reading, though, I will look across the audience, and when I see a glimmer in somebody's eye, and when I see that, I know that's the person I have to go to.
okay, cool. Yeah,
So
we all do it differently, and I explain that to people all the time. If you go get a reading from someone else, it's probably going to be done differently. We all have our own style. Somebody typing something
yep,
interesting?
yep. Robin says, what sorts of things do you use to or do hypnosis for?
Mostly what I do hypnosis for is deep inner healing. I don't do weight loss. I don't do smoking. I have no interest in doing that, because mostly that a lot of people don't make that work. So I like to do soul retrievals, past life regressions, other life explorations, um, deep inner child work, healing, shadow work. Hypnosis is really, really successful for all of those things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, Terry's learned, my wife Terry, she learned how to do hypnosis, and she's, you know, starting out helping people like stop smoking, stop eating, and that type of stuff. So really get you into that centered space, you know,
Yeah.
because it's really almost meditation the way she does hypnosis, and it's quite amazing. But that's the
Yeah,
one thing that I suggest for everybody. The first thing you need to do is meditate.
absolutely.
Number one, first thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned um, hypnosis and realized that I've been doing it for 20 years and calling it guided meditation, because it's the same level of effectiveness and it is pretty much just the same experience.
Right. It really
So,
is. I mean, there's really no difference. I had when she was learning, I was one of her students, and it was like it was really cool. I mean, it worked really well because the other hypnosis, the one that says you can quack like a duck, I've never been able to go under. You know, I've never I guess I'm too skeptical.
Well, I don't know if it's skeptical. This is one of the takeaways that I had from actually taking the class for hypnosis, is that you won't do anything under hypnosis that you wouldn't do outside of hypnosis.
Exactly.
That's what it boils down to.
Right. So no chicken for you.
That's right. You will not see me clucking like a chicken. I have no interest in doing that.
Yeah. Somebody replay that portion and go, what the hell is he doing? Cracking like a duck.
Somebody said barking like a chicken recently. I'm like, that's interesting. I've never actually heard a chicken bark.
Yeah. I always say that. Always bark like a chicken.
Maybe it was you I heard it from.
Probably, because I don't. And if anyone else says bark like a chicken, then you're taking my stuff.
I think it was you, because I was watching replays of your other shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say bark like a chicken.
Bark like a chicken. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone I've been getting a lot of Joe Bidenisms lately. So I tend to lose my mind and have slick back hair. So I look pretty good, don't I?
There you go.
And I'm Joe Biden. But yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. I mean, the more that you meditate, the more that you know your energy, the better this is all it. Because you can't know spirit's energy unless you know your energy.
Exactly. And here's the other thing I'm going to throw in there just for fun. If you are not dealing with your own stuff, stop doing readings until you're at least willing to look at your own stuff, because you are throwing up filters left and right. And most of reading is interpretation. We get the message, we still have to interpret it. But the more filters we have, the less clear the interpretation is. And the filters are not dealing with our own stuff.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, that's, because you see all these people like on Facebook throwing all this stuff out, then they go, oh, we gotta go do readings. I'm like, how?
No, thank
you. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm not coming by you today. I mean, spiritually, how do you know? You know what I mean? How? I just don't understand that. I mean, that's just, you can't just turn that on and off.
Right. Well, you can be psychic and psycho at the same time, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have your shit together to be a decent psychic. You just have to have it together to be an effective healing psychic.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that, because we do get a lot of it, and I've gotten a lot of it lately where I've met other psychics that aren't doing the best, for the highest and best good. They're prolonging readings just to make money. They're telling people evil things that are happening in their house so that they pay them to remove that spell or that demon from their house, or
That curse.
I found too many that I thought that were really positive psychic mediums, and now I question it. You know what I mean?
Well, and part of that too is that nobody's 100% positive 100% of the time, because we don't need to stop being human just because we're healers or psychics. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
We still have to do the human thing. But you can definitely tell, like I can definitely tell when I walk into a psychic fair, which ones have dealt with their own personal issues, and especially their childhood and anger issues, and which ones haven't. And generally the ones who haven't aren't doing real well.
Right.
Because of the energy that they're putting out. I mean, it's like, I know I sound like a judgmental weenie right now, but whatever, because I have been teaching psychic development for 12 years. Intuitive You is the program. And, as I'm writing the books, and the biggest thing is it's psychic and personal development. I don't feel like you can really effectively help people if you're so stuck in the demons, and this negative thing, and this, oh my God, you're exhausting. Give it a rest.
Right. I agree.
Stuff.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because that's, everybody's so much into the craziness, and instead of the instead of what it really is. And what it really is pretty dang awesome just the way it is. You don't have to add more things on it. You don't have to embellish. You don't have to scare people. Just
Right.
being able to talk and communicate with your loved ones is what's amazing.
Yeah. And, I mean, honestly, I mean, like, okay, I've done shamanic training. I'm a Reiki master. I've done all kinds of healing stuff for all kinds of years. But the most healing modality I've ever used is mediumship. For me personally, I have helped more people heal through mediumship and through soul retrieval than any other thing. Those are the two top healing modalities I use because it really helps to deal on a cellular, multi-life level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But that's where, the one time we did the Jennifer's psychic fair, what really impressed me about you and I were the fact that we changed readings because we knew that they were sitting at the wrong tables. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
That was then I knew right then and there that how 100% honest and how much integrity you have and what it was. And when we changed them, they both had spectacular readings because they
Right.
were supposed to be at the other tables, both of us. And so
Exactly.
that was really crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I have never had a problem, if a reading isn't going well for the person or for me, there's just no connection. Sometimes the energy just doesn't connect, and that's okay. Then I'm not the person who's supposed to be helping them. And I'm okay with that, because there are all kinds of people I can help. Why waste their time and mine with this energy when I can hand them over to you at the next table and get on with the next person who needs to see me?
Right. Yeah,
It,
and
it
that's what I
works.
was talking about earlier. That's why I brought that up too, is the fact that there's too many people that just keep going and don't even really have a connection, but are trying it because they just want the money, and that drives me nuts.
Me too. Me too. And let's face it, we all have to make money. I mean,
Agreed.
my landlord is not going to take trade for rent. You know what I'm saying? So we all have to make money, but at the same time, yeah, I won't cross that line where I'm going into a lack of integrity. It doesn't work anyway, and it destroys your reputation. So why do it?
Right. And it hurts the person we're reading for the most.
Exactly. Yeah. If they're not getting what they need, let them go someone else. I actually have a list of people that I can refer to if that happens. you
Right.
know, it feels like you would be a good match for this person. Here's their number.
Right.
No charge.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing but that's just so frustrating when you see that people want to do that, that want to keep going even though they aren't connected. If you're not connected, you're not connected. We're not, and we're not 100% every reading, and
Right.
we're not probably not even 100% at any reading, but 90-95 is probably pretty damn good. So
I think so. Yeah. I tell all my students that too. Nobody's 100% down 100% of the time. And if they tell you that they are,
run.
they're, yeah, run
That's what
fast.
I tell my students. Run.
They're either lying to you or lying to themselves, but either way, go.
Yeah. So what is your? I guess we can get deep now, and let's get into it because we're kind of. Oh, Keith asked, have we ever read animals? Yes,
Yes.
I have. Yeah,
I just did that the other day.
I
Yeah.
I did too. A gentleman had a dog that they just picked up and wondered why he was squeamish and stuff, and I told him about how he was abused and how what he likes and what he doesn't, and every 2 weeks he calls back and says, "Yep, that worked. Yep, that worked." Now what? I kept saying, "Well, you're going to get it soon. You're not going to have to call me all the time because he's
Right.
starting to fit in." So, but yes,
Yeah.
that is amazing when we do that.
Yeah. I love reading horses. Horses are so expressive.
I've never done a horse.
Really? Oh, I love reading horses because they will tell you exactly what the problem is and how to fix it. And you better listen because they'll throw you if you don't.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
So where do you go on the other side on God, and let's get into that kind of realm. I know it's a deep topic, but demons and
It's a very deep topic. Um, I don't play in the realm of demons. I don't discount their existence, but I don't play there. It's, we all came here for different reasons, and there are people who came here specifically to do that. I have the list of those people. I will send anyone who needs to deal with demons to those people because that's their job. That's what they came here to do. That's not what I came here to do. Um, God, God is a good orderly direction. That's my definition of God. Just good orderly direction, and it's the universe. It's universal intelligence. It's universal divine love and creativity, and that's what I tune into. I have been saying since I was a small child, God's too big to fit in a box.
right.
Why do we keep trying to put God in a box? God doesn't fit in a box. It never worked for me. And also, when I use the word God, I don't have a gender attached to that. To me, it just means universal intelligence.
I agree.
How's that?
Oh, that's pretty good because I agree with you on one and I disagree with you on the other.
Okay.
I agree with you on the God being universal, being the oneness, being we're all God, we're all one, we're here having the earthly experience this time because that's how we experience. And God is part of that, so that's how God experiences through, or the oneness experiences through us and through what we have here on earth. So I do believe that. I do believe the other side's a place of love, place of understanding, place of joy, you know.
I confirm that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but I'm not one that believes in demons.
Okay.
I don't believe in that type of realm. I just it I've never encountered it. Not that I want, if there was them, you know what I mean? But I've
Yeah.
never encountered it. And all the readings I've ever done, I've never heard, even from my spirit guide and others who I talk about deeply with this, and we've asked other, we know, I don't know if, do you know Jeremy Anderker?
I know the name.
Okay, he's from Madison here, and he channels a group of spirits that have never been on Earth. They call themselves Rama, and we've asked them even. We've tried to ask any spirit that we ever come up to, tell us
Yeah.
about the devil, tell us about hell, tell us about demons, and none of them ever say that that's correct.
Yeah.
They just show that once we cross over to the other side. Now, I could be misinterpreting the fact that it could be Earth spirits that are stuck here. So like the psychopomps and stuff that help people go over, because those type of energies hold on to those earthly emotions. And so if that's what somebody might call hell, I would say that's fine, because I
Yeah.
believe that we make our own happiness and our own unhappiness.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
So
Complete.
right. And so if we live in that unhappiness and we live in that sorrow, that could be hell. That could be a hell feeling. It could be here on earth too.
Right. Right. And demons are created usually by people anyway.
Okay. All right. I- That
Do
that
you-
I can agree with.
yeah.
I just don't believe that there's one nasty guy on the other side going, go get Scotty now.
Oh, I don't believe in the realm of heaven or hell.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that what we believe is what we create and what we experience. So if people are experiencing trouble with demons, it's because they've got that stuck in their head somehow, and they're creating that. We are 100% in creation mode all the time. Most of us don't know it.
100% agree with that one. 100. See right there?
Yeah, we are always in creation mode.
We are.
We create everything in our lives, and the more that I am aware of that, the better I'm getting at it, because there's creation and then there's intentional creation. And either way, we're creating it. But generally, if we're not doing it intentionally, we're not usually happy with the outcome.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and by the way, Terry's in the background. She says to Christina, she says, good point.
Hi, Terry.
She's in listening to the show. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I agree. And that's why, I had an experience once at a Paracon that I was at, and this person came up with a Ouija board and or was telling us about it. Her mom got possessed by a Ouija board. And I said, no. I said, unfortunately, your mom's intent with the Ouija board caused her into that lower vibration.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the Ouija board, because the Ouija board is not inherently bad. If that's the case, that any divination tool would be inherently bad, and they're not.
The only problem I ever saw with the Ouija board is that they sell them at toy stores. And there's no instruction in there on how to set a space.
Right. I agree with that. I mean, but you need intent. You need proper intent.
Right. And that's nowhere in the instructions either. So that is actually my only problem with the Ouija board.
I agree. I mean, but then again, I go on the same thing for people that buy SB7s, spirit boxes and all this, dowsing rods and pendulums. There's no directions to them either. You can conjure just as much spirits, and you can have just as much communication with those as you can with the Ouija board or anything else.
100% accurate. Yeah.
Right. And so if you're not coming for the highest and best good of what you're doing, then you can bring anything in.
Well, here's the deal. We get what we look for. We get what we look for.
Of course. That's exactly what it is.
That's what we're going to find. If you're going to go looking for demons, guess what you're going to find?
Right.
If you're going to go looking for fairies, guess what you're going to find?
I agree. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, because our intent is what is the most thing. And if our intent is to be out and help and do the best and highest good for us and for the clients and people that are sitting in front of us, then everything's going to be great.
Yep, I agree 100%. Yeah, it really is what we put into it, and what we get out of it. And when I have seen people who have so much crap stuck in their filters that they're just forcing their own issues onto other people. And then I'm just like, stop, please just stop.
Yep. That's exactly, we could both be giving the same class. That's for sure. Because my class is probably very similar. Because that's so true. I mean, because like Devin put in there, like attracts like. Of course it does.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And if we put out to the world that we're negative every day, that's what we're going to get back in our world is negativity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you said something that triggered something for me, and you said lower energies on Earth. And I tend to think in terms of energy and frequency. So the higher the frequency, the more light it produces.
Okay. Yep. I can agree with that too.
The less light it produces, so the more darkness we see. So I tend to think of lower energy as slower energy.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. See, because when I talk about it, I talk about it like, because I talk about ghosts and I talk about spirits. And to me, a ghost is somebody that's still past, but not all the way over.
Someone in need of a psycho pump.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the spirit, I think. And you call it I call it lower, you call it slower. Same idea though. It's because they're not coming from love. Because otherwise they would have saw the light and crossed over already.
Right.
They already encountered the other side. And when we cross the other side, people go in death, you're going to be the same person as death and you're in life. And I even used to say that in the old days, but that's wrong. Because once we cross all the way over, then we become of love. We become of the oneness again. We become of that energy, and that doesn't hold over any negative feelings or any hurt or pain or anything like that. That's only done here as a ghost, not a spirit.
Yeah. Having been on the other side, I've had some near-death experiences, and been on the other side and not wanting to come back because I don't even have the words to express the level of love and peace and joyfulness that's there. There's no word in the English language that correctly describes that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because somebody talked about it on here about near-death experiences. Where's that question? Oh, Aaron says, have you had clients ask about near-death experiences and opening the veil to the other side? And both of us have, but why don't you kind of talk about your near-death experience if you don't mind?
Okay. Well, my first one, I was 5 or 6 years old, I think. It was a head injury, and I remember the out of my body experience much better than I remember the incident that happened, because this incident taught me that I could just check out. I could leave my body at will anytime I wanted to once I figured out how to do that. And I just went across. I found myself in the sun, walking across this field of beautiful wildflowers and long grasses, and there was somebody sitting on a boulder, and I walked over there and I climbed up on the boulder next to him, and it was Jesus, who ironically looked a lot like Bob Marley to me. So that was cool. And we talked for a while, and he just said something to like, it's time for you to go, or you should go home, or something like that. So I walked back across the field and I looked up at a tree that I was passing, and one side it like split part way up, right? So it kind of went like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on one side I couldn't see the top. And then I brought my eyes back down to where it split, and I looked up and I could see the top of that one, and then I was instantly back in my body. Wow. Yeah, so that one was so clear to me, and that's what taught me that I could leave my body. And having had a violent childhood, that came in handy a lot. So I missed a lot of the damage from having a violent childhood because I could just leave. Right. I wasn't experiencing it. So that was really a gift to me to be able to do that. I OD'd at 14 and was in a coma for 4 days because I was knocking on a door where there was this brilliant white light coming out from the other side of the door. And for 4 days while I was in the coma, I was arguing with the voice on the other side that kept saying, it's not your time, you have to go back. I'm not going back. Let me in. And that was an argument that, like I said, went on for 4 days. And then I went back into my body. But so that was the second one. The third one was actually when I was giving birth to my first child, and my heart stopped. And they restarted my heart. But with that one, I was thinking, I have a baby. I can't stay here. I need to go back. So that was that thought. And then 6 years ago, I had a severe case of pneumonia and crossed over at that point, and they did an emergency surgery to bring me back. Now, at that one, I got all the way through the door. I was already well into back to source, back home, ready to stay there. And then I heard my husband's voice, and bam, right back in my body.
Well, I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he called you back.
Yeah, but I was really mad at him for a long time because physically it hurt a lot. That was a 6-month recovery.
Yeah. They wrote a song about you. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Yes. That's your song.
It is my
song. Anytime we do a show, that's going to be your intro song.
Oh, cool. I'm totally down with it.
You got a good theme song now. But yeah, that's amazing that you had all those times that and that you came back. That's a crazy thing. I mean, we're only supposed to have so many exit points, and you've encountered a lot of them already.
I kind of wonder how many more I have.
I hate to say it, but I was always told 7, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
So not anytime soon here, girl.
No, I got too much to do.
I know, too much.
I have a brand new grandbaby. I'm not going anywhere now.
Oh yeah, no, that's great, because now you can spoil and send him home.
Yeah, exactly.
Sugar them up and send them back.
I think he's in the room, actually.
Surprised he's not jumping on Graham's head.
Yeah. Well, he's only 5 weeks old, so he's
Okay,
not doing.
not yet.
There we go.
That's cool.
Yep.
So Keith asked, do we have parking spot guides?
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
they
do.
show up. Yeah, sometimes they show up. And sometimes they tell me I gotta walk, so get your butt out of the car.
Yeah. You need to get some steps, buddy. Keep
Yeah,
going.
keep going. You're going way down the back of the parking lot.
My youngest son has always had this thing. He always had a parking angel. And even when, as a little kid, I'd be driving around the parking lot and he's like, Mom, can't you see her? She's right over there. And I would just follow his directions. And that kid could get front row parking at Walmart on Christmas Eve. I swear to God. Always. Boom, right there.
Yeah. So Erin asked too, and I'll start with that. She's asking, so that experience proceeded opening up to spirit communication. Yes, and a lot of people though that even have severe head injuries, injuries will tend to get very connected to spirit after. I know
Yeah.
our past pastor here in that hack, she had a motorcycle accident and her abilities went boom,
Yep.
because she hurt her head. There's a lot of people that I've known and have encountered that have it. When I was in the hospital once and I was having all these problems with my body had a virus in it or sepsis, it was getting all red and crappy, and I was just in really bad shape, and I told spirit that night, I said, either you heal me or you kill me. And so
Yep.
I'm still here. And I've had surgery after surgery, things after things, but it's starting to get better. So
I was there too. Take me or make me better, but this in between has got to stop.
Right. And they actually did it. I mean, because this year I had knee surgery and eye surgery. Last year I had neck surgery. So they're putting me back together.
Awesome.
And the amount of money I'm going to be the $6 million man, but with no bionics. So doggone it.
That's just not fair.
I know you spend that much money and you can't even have bionics. I want to run around the house going.
Yeah, maybe you get one bionic leg and go in a circle really fast.
Or I could do the hokey pokey really well. Oh my goodness. But yeah, but I couldn't be a ninja.
Nope.
No.
Why not?
I couldn't be silent.
Oh, that's true.
Damn it, here he comes again.
Hear him. Give it a second. Okay, there he is.
So let's go down this road since we're talking about spiritual gifts and stuff. See, I'm under the thought, and I believe that everybody has spiritual sneezes. But I think everybody is on what Terry calls the psychic spectrum. I think everybody's on it in some form or the other. Not everybody can talk to dead people, and some people are just sensitive. Some people get the thoughts or hear when they need to, or their guys jump in.
Yep.
But there's somewhere in between. Some have a lot, some have a little.
Yep, I agree. I believe that we are all. That's kind of our blueprint. That's the I can't think of the word I'm looking for. The manual. The manual for life is our intuition. That's the user manual. And I do believe my entire Intuitive You program is built on that premise that everyone has intuition or psychic ability of some sort. It's just a matter of identifying what it is, how it works for you, and what you want to do with it. Boom.
Mic drop. Good night, everybody. But really, that's what it is. I mean, but so many people have this, and that's why I always say we all have it. And and my favorite joke is the old joke from vaudeville. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice.
Practice.
See, you know the joke. Yay! That's all people know. but but that's what it is. I mean, that's the only difference between me and most people, is how much, and you and I are close because we practice.
A lot.
Yeah. But that's where the difference is.
Yeah. And I know for me, the calling to serve in this way was so strong that holding down a job just stopped working. I'd be getting downloads in the middle of the day, or I'd be trying to work an 8, 10, 9, 10-hour day and then teach until 10 or 11 o'clock at night and then turn around and do it again. At some point, you just get old enough where that stops working,
Right.
you know, where it just stops working. But it really got to the point where I was so strongly called to doing this, to serving in this way, that a job just stopped making sense.
I agree, and it's been almost a year since I lost my corporate job, and everybody says, "Why you're not doing this full time? You're not." No, 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 no. And I thought I'd do my corporate job for 10 more years, and then I would do this full time. And well, the universe had its way and said, "Nope, you're doing this full time."
Other plans.
And so far, it's been doing really well. I mean, I'm still growing and still looking
Yeah.
for students and readings and stuff, but it's been a fun year. I am very different. I'm much more happy than I was in the past. And my commute from my sofa to the computer is only like 5 seconds, so I don't
Right.
have to get up and do much. I just go up and sit down and get on the computer and start doing readings.
And I've got my I think you can probably see it in the background here, my napping / sleep / meditation / inspiration chair back here. Yeah, literally it is one step from chair to chair. So
That
I
commute is
got
so long. It's so tough.
so exhausting. Oh, it's been 12 years since I've had a regular job, and I am so blessed to be able to do what I do in order to turn around and be a blessing to others. And I am so unbelievably grateful that I get to live this life this way. And I'm not going to discount that I chose it. You
Right,
know, I
right.
was called to it, but I could have ignored the calling. It would have beat me up, but I could have done it. And I chose to answer the calling. And because of that, I get to do what I love to do. I get to have control over my own schedule. I get to spend time with my family when I want to. I get to work when I want to. And sometimes those are late nights. There are some nights I'm up all night working. And in my case, that's writing most of the time because I'm developing classes. I'm writing meditations. I'm recording. I'm writing books. I'm publishing. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot to do. And sometimes I'm up all night doing it, and sometimes I'm in bed at 8 o'clock because I can.
I'm never in bed till 10 because 9 o'clock Hogan's Heroes comes on.
Oh,
That's why
all
this show's always on at 7, and then we have to end by 9.
right. Funny.
It's my one show. That and Petticoat Junction are my two favorite shows of all time. So I'm just weird.
It's all good. I go through phases, where I binge on shows on, either Hulu or Netflix or whatever. And
Right.
yeah.
And we saw the one last night. What was that? Explained on Netflix. We watched about cults. Did you
Oh,
ever see that episode?
uh,
You have to look at it. It's pretty impressive
yeah.
of documentary.
I'm a big fan of Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. The best line of the whole show last night though is cults plus time equals religion.
Exactly. Bingo.
See, so watch that. So that's Netflix explains.
Let me explain. Let me just write that down.
What is it, Terry? Explained. ED.
I think I have seen some of that. Is that with William Shatner?
No. It's just, yeah, oh, that's right. That's unexplained.
Oh, okay.
This
All
is
right.
explained
Got it.
on Netflix. So Keith asked about psychometry.
Psychometry. Reading energy from objects.
Yeah, that
So,
that is fun. So the
yeah.
coolest story is, I'll tell you this about Terry and I. So Terry and I went to this to Milwaukee Museum. They had a traveling show about this slave ship that was captured by pirates and made it become a pirate ship that got sunk off the coast of Massachusetts. And so what they did is they found all the remains, brought it up, and then they made this touring show of all the remains of the ship. So right there, that was pretty cool. And
Awesome.
so Terry and I went to see it, and we were learning about the ship, and I was seeing a lot of pirates. And Terry would go, "You mean the people in costumes just walking around here?" I go, "No, not the docents, the real pirates." You know. So we were like walking around, and I was talking to the pirates, and then they had a cannon, and I could feel the cannon, and I felt it being shot, and I could feel all the things that we could touch. I could feel the energies off of them, so that was quite amazing. And then I saw one pirate there that told me that he died. What was it, 1717? Yep.
He died in 1718.
Yep.
Went down in 17.
So he died in 1718. He told me a year after the ship died, or the ship sunk. And in the first thing of the whole exhibit, thanks, Terry. Like I said, I lose some points. So I'm glad she's listening. But anyway, so in the exhibit, I said that there's a pirate that died a year after. And Terry goes, "No, everybody died in the ship." We said, "Okay." So I just went on. I said, "Well, he must, I don't know, something must be off." But at the end, we walked up, and the guy's name that I said was one of the guys that was saved or washed up on shore, and he was hung the next year for treason. And that was the person I was talking to.
Okay. All right.
So
I think
psychometry is amazing.
it is. Psychometry is amazing. And I'm pretty sure Keith asked that question because he knows all my stories. So I actually learned psychometry, kind of baptism by fire. When I was living out on the West Coast, there was a woman who lived out there who was I think it was Tuesday nights, at the Poodle Dog restaurant. They had this little conference room kind of a thing. And she would have this, I forget what she called it, but people would come and pay $3 to get a reading. And what they would do is put an object inside of an envelope. It had to be small enough to fit in an envelope. And then they would just write their birth date on it and put them all in a pile. And any psychic who wanted to show up and do readings could show up and be part of this thing. So you'd have to pick up the envelope, and all you had was a birth date, and you couldn't look inside the envelope. You just had to hold on to it and read it, and then say it out loud for the whole crowd that had gathered. And some nights we'd have 50, 100 people with all these envelopes, and they would just get passed around to however many psychics showed up to do it. So it was kind of baptism by fire for me on the psychometry end of it, but I got pretty good at it.
Yeah. I know at church when we were teaching people about psychometry or dowsing or stuff, I would steal stuff from people and they would have to find it. Your car keys are in the field somewhere. Go.
Wow, you're a tough teacher.
Go.
Go.
That's why everybody likes it better now that I'm on Zoom, because I'm not as tough.
You can't steal their stuff.
I can't steal their stuff anymore. But that sounds like a fun night though, with with all these people with stuff. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll get something started again after this whole COVID thing passes and we can gather again.
Oh, that would be a fun event, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We can call it baptism by fire.
Johnny Cash had a song too, fire. So see, you got a lot of theme songs coming up your way.
How about that? Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire right there.
Oh.
That's too cool. All right, so where else are we going? Any other questions in the room? Thank you everybody for showing up and coming in tonight. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and answer them. It's a good time part of the show right now where we will answer questions. If you have any, please put them in as a comment in Facebook, and we'll read them here. So, like you said, you have a show this Friday night on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm doing a channeling. So, if you're going to come to it, bring your questions. They like questions, whoever it is I'm channeling. And I won't know until Friday who it is that's going to come through. But, they like questions. The only questions they won't answer are the ones that interfere with our free will. Okay. So don't ask who the next president's going to be, because they're not going to answer it.
All right. And so Keith knows you pretty well, because he goes, any interesting house cleaning?
Cleansings?
That's what I think. So he put cleaning, so I said it that way.
He knows what he knows. Yeah. I think he's referring to the one that we did in Racine a few years ago. A friend of mine had a penthouse condo on the marina in Racine, and paranormal energy going on there. So I brought Keith with me. That's where he really started the psychopomp thing. I brought him with me, and we had done some really. We opened up a portal, and like everybody who ever died in Lake Michigan came out and up through that portal and went. But there was a magistrate who had. There was a slave ship, I think, they were hiding slaves in that area, and getting them through to Canada or whatever. And he was not a nice person. Let's just put it that way. So I lit up my smudge pot to go cleanse her condo, and he knocked it right out of my hands. The magistrate just knocked it out of my hands, like, no, you're not cleansing me away. You're not doing this. But after some communication, I got him to understand that even he can be forgiven and go on to the light. And by the end of it, he was helping others go on to the light. And the sea captain from a ship that went down, who had apparently been married to my friend in a past life, came through the wall and just kind of barrel hugged me. It was pretty fun. And then Keith actually took a picture of my friend and I together, and there's an orb right between us.
Cool.
So,
that is really cool.
Yeah.
Keith said you have two of them mixed up. He goes, how about the one where the enclosed one, when they couldn't get out, that you did?
That doesn't narrow it down much. Just Keith, are you talking about the one in the Dells?
We'll see what he does. It takes a couple seconds here for us to get answers, but because we're on delay, just in case you swear too much and we have to shut you off or something.
I know, because I have a potty mouth.
No, you don't. He goes, shielding all around that house.
Oh, that was in Wausau. Okay, yeah. Somebody called me in to do a cleansing because there was an old man in the kids area upstairs that was scaring them. And what had happened was that this house had been a rental for many, many years. And this woman had just bought it after having rented it. And her kids did not like the upstairs bedrooms. And the thing was that over the years, there had been so many layers of protection put on that house that the spirits were trapped in there and couldn't get out. So I had to remove the layers of protection that had been put on over the years and let all the spirits leave, and then put a new protection on. And I'm amazed at how many people do that. Oh, I'll just put salt down, or I'll just, call in and protect my property from spirits. Yeah, but if you didn't let them leave in the first place, you kind of trapped them in there.
Yeah.
And the old man that they were worried about upstairs was just sad all the time because he could see outside, but he couldn't get outside. And the kids were picking up on his sadness.
Yeah. Devin states that's often how her conversations with ghosts go, showing them that they can have peace and forgiveness if they choose. But
Yeah.
that, and that's not, it's a good point, Devin. It's really true. But I also add that to the living, because right now we can choose to be happy. We can choose
Yeah.
to let go, or we can choose to be mad at one another forever. And that's not the way to live.
Exactly. I agree. I
So
agree.
I think you brought that up earlier, that it's a part of the living too, because we have to heal just as much as spirit has to heal, and we have to work together because we are one. There is no difference. It's not like us and them,
Right.
not, and that's my thing. It's not really good or bad, because good or bad is one person's opinion of what things are.
Yep.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So, awesome. I think we're about to that time. I know we started late, so we went a little longer here. So thank you for coming on. It's been so fun.
This has been fun. We need to do this again sometime.
Anytime you want to, just tell me. I'm coming on this week. All right. I already got a poster, so put it back up.
Whoever you got on, bump them.
Yeah. Off. Get out.
Anybody who knows me knows I would never do that.
Well, too late. You got it on film, so I can just edit that part right out.
Yeah, I know.
Just bump them. Just bump them. So where's your Facebook pages and websites?
All right. My Facebook page is Kristina L. Bloom, Spiritual Advisor. You can go on there and get pretty much any information. I have a meetup page where my events are all listed, and that's meetup.com/one spirit connection. And my website is real easy, KristinaBloom.com. And you can make an appointment with me for a private reading, or, like a home party or whatever, through Facebook Messenger. There's a contact page on my website. There's lots of ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Remember, I'm on Scotty Rorek Psychic Medium on Facebook business page. You can book right there, right through that. So that's pretty exciting. Mine's ScottyRorek.com, SpookyScotty.com, same place. I'm on Instagram, Scotty Rorek on Twitter, Scotty Rorek on everything. So just look me up. I'm somewhere there. If you don't see Scotty Rorek, he ain't there.
Oh, yeah. I have an Instagram, Kristina Bloom SA.
See? Always forget all the places we are. Oh.
But yeah, if you're interested in the channeling, easiest way to do it is to go to my meetup page. Look on the calendar. It's on there.
Yeah, Keith, we all know when you're calling. Trust us.
Thank you, Scotty. This has been a blast.
You guys every night. All right, we'll see you guys next week, same time, 7 o'clock, right here on Shadowhunters investigation and paranormal investigations and events page. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye, everybody.
I have people telling me how long that title was.
You know,
Wait.
Forever. I told him it should just be Shadowhunter, but it's everything. But
yeah.
Oh well, it differentiates us.
Cool.
All right, we'll see you guys. Bye bye. Thank you.